55% of companies will never hire more than 4 employees. There are thousands of these small companies in America, and they don't have an easy path. They struggle too. They are not your average companies. They are the 1004. This is the 1004 Show.
Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for joining us today for the 1004 Show. Today we are delighted to have Melody Layler of PajamaWeb.com. Melody, how's it going?
It's going great.
So you have been in the web development world for quite some time. Let's take us back to that. What got you into that world, and how did you educate yourself to become proficient in web development?
Well, I just kind of stumbled into that world. Actually, back in the 90s, I had a job where they needed somebody to rebuild and maintain the office website. So basically, I was really the only one there who was technically proficient. So I learned HTML from scratch. I ended up taking a class to bolster some of that, but most of it I just learned by doing, and I did that for a couple of years. This was back before style sheets and PHP and long before WordPress,
right.
Back when Netscape was, the browser of the day. And that's basically how I got started. Then I took a hiatus where I was doing basically IT repair, computer repair, IT support and stuff with my husband's business for, almost a decade.
Wow.
And then, or about a decade. And then in 2000, the end of 2009, beginning of 2010, I got back into it as a business again. But I had already been working with WordPress and some e-commerce sites as part of our IT business for a couple of years before that.
So since 2009, it sounds like you have been working on Pajama Web. In a sentence or two, what is Pajama Web, and what makes you different than other kind of people that could produce a website?
Okay, well, Pajama Web is a name that I took for the business simply because I drew on the idea of telecommuting. Because when I started out, I was doing everything from home. And I still do some of my work from home. And I also have a lot of clients who work from home or straddle, home and an office or a storefront or something. So, the word pajama, it sounded good together. It stuck because, that means that on the online world in particular, you can work in your pajamas and nobody know it.
So do you wear your pajamas a lot?
Actually, well,
not today.
Yeah, I
Not
do.
today.
I do. At home, I do. I don't normally dress up when I'm at home, but obviously, I don't come to the office in my pajamas.
Right.
So, I'm not trying to vie for people at Walmart or something like that. But as
That's funny.
as far as what I do, my business is very WordPress centric because I adopted, you should say, WordPress for some sites of my own in 2007, and I've just been growing from there ever since, and it is a very suitable platform for many small to medium businesses. It's very extensible, you can make it as easy as you want, or you can make it as complex as you want. So It's a good fit for many types of businesses. So I decided to focus on that ecosystem for web development. There's also an excellent community behind it of users and designers and developers that are basically in it for the long haul.
Do people, when they come to you, do they know that WordPress is the solution that they want? And so I guess for people listening, WordPress is a content management system, and you basically can build websites off of it. There are some of the biggest websites in the world that are based off of WordPress, and they use widgets and plugins and different functionality as kind of a backbone, and then you can kind of build on top of it or overlay by using templates. Now, do people who come to you, do they know that they want WordPress? Do you have to convince them that WordPress is it? Do they want custom? Like, how does that work with you? And how do you kind of play with that and discover with them, giving them the right tool for the job?
Most of them do know. I do have clients who find me on the web, and I rank for WordPress web design specifically. So those people know that I do WordPress development, so they're going to come to me for that. I have nearly 10 years experience in WordPress, so there's not a whole lot of other players. There's a lot of web development firms, but not many have worked in WordPress anywhere near as long as I have. So yes, they typically do know. I do have some that, these are going to be clients who have probably never had a website before, and they're neither going to know nor care. So I have some of both.
How did you get ranked so highly, and what certain keywords are you using to rank high with WordPress developer?
Basically, it's just the content. I made sure that my about page and, the important content pages focus on the keywords WordPress and web design and development. I'm going to admit that I do not rank for just web design. And I might take some time to focus on that and see if I can get my page to move up. But right now, I rank well if you put WordPress in the keyword phrase. So I'm happy with that for now.
And then someone comes to that site or to your site, and then do you send them to a specific landing page, or do they just find about you? Like, what is your
they come to my homepage mostly.
And then on there, you have people ready and focused to get them as a client. You then re-educate them. What is your? So I'm pulling up the website right now so I can look at it. What is your kind of strategy once you get people to the site so that you can get a phone call? Is that normally what you're trying to get? What's
generally a phone call or fill out the contact form is mainly what I'm trying to get people to do.
And it's pajamaweb.com?
Yes.
So as I'm pulling that up, so I think it's really interesting. So you understood that you took your important content pages, so your About Us, your homepage, and you made sure that the keywords that you wanted to win for WordPress, web development, were on those pages. Now, did you see traffic driving immediately afterwards when you started kind of focusing on these keywords? How quickly did the traffic come? And then what did you learn about kind of the conversion piece when you were trying to drive people, once you drove them there, to get them to actually funnel down and click or call?
I'm not sure. Well, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah, so you get people to the site. So you realize that you needed to be keyword rich for words like WordPress or web development. How quickly after that did you see that traffic went up, and then from there did you start getting those kind of
It just sort of started trickling in from the beginning. It didn't take very long at all.
So like days, weeks, months?
Like days, probably.
Okay. And so
I find that if I have the content right on a page, generally Google will index it and it will start to rank pretty quickly.
Right.
Obviously if I focus in on a more competitive keyword, like say just web design, I don't expect immediate results, and I would have to work a lot harder, to experiment with different ways to try to get that keyword phrase to rank.
Sure. One thing that I find fairly great about the work that you've done is that you have gone and started a WordPress meetup. How do you educate people and then take that and convert that into new customers?
Well, the meetup is more for community, and at least my my primary motivations behind it are more community based and not to drive business.
Got it.
However, I have definitely gotten business through the meetup, and I'm certainly not going to, turn down a good opportunity if I see it.
Right.
In fact, it has been a very good way to get referrals, because people do look to me, for advice, and if they need, more than something that takes a few minutes, if they know that they, just want someone else to do some work for them, then they do come to me. And the meetup sites, a lot of people probably don't know this. They have authority, and you can drive traffic from Meetup to your own website. So people will, when they start looking up WordPress web development, they will see that I'm the organizer of the meetup, because the meetup page will also be on page 1 of Google.
Got it.
as well as my business website.
Business Made Easy. Experts, templates, community, and results. Learn more today at 1004.com.
So because you have that, you run a WordPress meetup, that gives you kind of authority status, and then from there people can see that your website's below it too, and that gives you an option where people keep seeing Pajama Web, Pajama Web, Pajama Web, or Melody, 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 and then they say, okay, there must be something here. I need to click this. I need to meet this person. I need to see what she's doing. I think that's great. You've got tons of experience, which is great. How do you take that experience that you have and use it as a selling point when talking with customers? Are they saying, so think of it as like a resume. Someone says, oh, you have a college degree. Do you have 3 to 5 years experience? How can you take that, your 20 plus years of experience in web development plus the WordPress meetup, and leverage that in your collateral in conversations with people to garner new relationships and convert those potentials into customers or into leads and introductions into other people?
Well, I explain to people when they're talking about WordPress or they want someone to do WordPress development for them, I tell them, I have, many years experience. If I give you any suggestions or I make recommendations, you can pretty much take it to the bank that I'm, hitting the target, so to speak, when I speak into their situation. So I definitely do emphasize that, I have been doing this for a long time. So it usually doesn't take much convincing unless they're not convinced that they want to go with WordPress to start with. And I do look at individual situations and see, well, is it a best fit? Because there definitely are going to be some web platform ideas where they may have to just move on to some kind of developer with bigger chops and do something completely custom.
Sure.
Or that maybe go with something more dedicated. Like e-commerce is a great realm. Because of WooCommerce, WordPress is being recognized as a legitimate e-commerce platform for small to medium-sized stores. If you have a huge superstore where content management beyond your store is not as important, you just need to have a large catalog with variations that has is basically heavy duty cart. That focuses very heavily on every aspect of the commerce and features associated with it, then I, would definitely steer a person. Or maybe if they, don't have a big investment up front for web development, but they still need to get a store up, I might, suggest a Shopify or something like that. Tell them, to, give it a try and see, if it works for you, because that can get them, with a minimal investment up front, get them an attractive looking store with lots of features.
Sure.
So I care more, and this ties into, I didn't get to finish about, what makes, Pajama Web unique. I'm concerned about the client and, what their business is about. I try to hear, what their pain points are. I try to hear, well, what are your dreams, or what is your vision for your business? What do you really, want to do online? Or did you know that you can do, such and such online? Because they might not have thought about it, and they already have some preconceived notion or box that they're trying to fit themselves in. And, I'm trying to make them see, well, you do this, well, let's see, you can do this with your business. Why don't you use a mailing list to gain new customers and gain interest in your business, especially people who do brick and mortar as well as online sales. A lot of them don't really realize how much pull their website can truly have.
So I love this. You're concerned with your client, not just trying to get the new business. You're trying to educate them and even suggest things to them, even before they get it. You talk about their pain points that they're currently going through. What dreams they have? What have they done before? And what are they doing now? And where have they taken the risk and things associated with that? Is that a part of your onboard process with them? Do you actually have like a funnel or anything like that you put them through? Do you have like collateral and paperwork Anything like that associated?
I haven't got a formula per se for a funnel. So basically, if what would be the process is where someone comes to me either through they call me because they saw me on the web, or maybe they do fill out the contact form. A lot of times they might have had some prior contact, even if it was minimal somewhere else, so they kind of knew about me.
Okay.
Where it could come on a recommendation. But once I get that, get the inquiry from them, then it basically starts out with me. I will probably first talk to them on the phone, and if it looks like they're serious about going forward, then we have a meeting in person. And it's that meeting in person that usually leads to the sales, so to speak. If I can see them in person, more often than not, I do end up getting a project.
Got it. So a 3-step kind of funnel, if you will. Some sort of inquiry. It could be a call or a contact form, maybe other contact that you had at a networking event before, or maybe a recommendation. Then that takes you to a phone call. If the phone call seems serious, then you take them to an in-person meeting or a more in-depth meeting, maybe with a client that is out of the area that you live in. And then if it seems serious there, then you provide them a sales pitch and then take them through kind of that formula, if you will, of really understanding your pain points, what your goals are associated with that. You are a mother of 4, which is pretty crazy. You have a couple businesses. How do you handle the life of being a mother and growing a business at the same time? Do you get on your calendar and say, okay, these are the 6 hours I can work a day? Do you work late at night? How are you a mother of 4 and a business owner at the same time? A lot of prayer, right?
Yes, prayer definitely helps. There's a lot of praying going on, but other than that, sometimes I'm still trying to answer the question myself. Sometimes I don't know how to do it. I just do it. And actually, when I'm part of a blended family because I have grown stepchildren. So when I was first getting started in this, I still had young adult stepchildren living with us. So we had a pretty large household. Plus my natural kids, they were very small. So now they're obviously, my youngest are 10 now. So they're, getting to be more independent.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 13, 11, and 10 and 10.
You have twins, right?
Yeah, my youngest are twins.
Wow. All right. We've talked about a lot. Now, I know for the longest of times it was just you, but your ultimate goal is to grow into a full-time agency. Is that still a goal of yours?
Absolutely, it is. I took my husband on as a partner so that we could work together on projects, and basically he's my staff of +1 for the time being. But the goal is to definitely have more staff, and if the occasion is right, or I meet the right person, I may even add more partners to the agency.
Now, is that something that you proactively do, or is that something when the time comes you will look into it?
Actually, we are kind of actively getting there. We have a pretty full load of projects right now, and we're at that pivot point where right now I could probably, maybe not full-time, but probably contract something. And I'm definitely not resisting that. There was a point probably a couple of years ago where I would have resisted that,
right,
where it was me.
One of my favorite ways to grow, or at least test the waters, something I call it Zach Hack, if you saw it at Hampton Roads Business Weekly. So one of my favorite ways to grow is to take the money that you think that you can and start putting that into a savings account. Do it for 60 days, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is. And if you don't have to pull out that money, you might be able to afford that in more staff. And if you can't afford it, then all you do is just pull it back out of the savings and you put it back in. But that might be a good technique for you to try and grow and make sure financially you can still do that and not lose steam. I want to ask you a series of kind of quick answer questions. So a sentence or less for both. How many hours do you sleep at night?
5 to 6 hours.
Do you want to sleep more?
Yes.
How many cups of coffee?
Probably 4 or 5 a day.
When do you
And
stop? When do you stop
they're
drinking?
mugs.
When do you stop drinking coffee?
When it's time to go to
When
bed.
it's time to go to bed. Wow. Favorite business tool?
Favorite business tool?
Yeah, or service?
Hootsuite.
Hootsuite. Okay, so you schedule a lot of your social. Great. Do you like to read a lot of books or magazines in the business world?
I like to read blogs.
Okay, favorite blog?
Um, Probably chrislemma.com.
What is it, Chris? What?
What was that?
Chris.
Chris Lemma.
How do
So
I?
ChrisLema.com.
Got it. Check that out. What has been the one thing over the last 5 years or so that's really helped you grow?
The one thing, honestly, I think associating with positive people and just being persistent.
Positivity and persistence. I like that.
And yes, that was very important because personality-wise, I am melancholy, and I am very melancholy, like more than 75%. I mean,
Sure.
almost totally. So basically, trying to stay in a positive, optimistic frame of mind actually takes work for me. And basically, since my husband and I have been together, this has been a big focus, is to try to basically accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, so to speak, so that negativity does not negatively influence our plans or our business, and basically turn me into my worst enemy, and result in just giving up or making bad decisions or
Sure.
dropping out too soon or whatever.
And I think that's so great. Positivity is something that I think most people. It's easy for people to be negative, so they are, right. It's easy to turn and say something bad, but when you're positive and you're around positive people, it's it when you're around it, and your perseverance or persistence, I think, is something that also is great because as I think most sales aren't made on the first day. Right? It takes 5 to 7 positive interactions with someone, and in some cases 20 positive interactions with someone before that actual monetary conversion is made. And so if you're not persistent, you're never going to make that. You talked about mailing lists. What's your favorite mailing list to use?
You mean platform?
Yeah.
I currently use MailChimp.
Okay.
It's all right. I'm open to other platforms as well.
What would you like MailChimp to do that they don't do?
One of the biggest things is being able to divide or split the list, since the way that it creates groups and stuff is a little weird because you can't completely move people around from one section to another. And then when you do a campaign, it's like you can't send it to this. There's something about the way when you do the campaign that you can't completely divide up parts of a group to send it to. So, I wish they would do that a little bit better. So, but for the most part, it meets my needs well. I don't have a huge list yet, but
how big is your list?
I'm not sure at this point. I think it's still probably only a couple of hundred.
No, hey, you got to start somewhere, and
yeah.
You can't get to 1 million before you have one. I've always heard that. All right, so we actually used to use MailChimp as well. Loved MailChimp, but for a reason similar to you, we just needed more infrastructure. And when we needed the tool to do more, we asked around, and people told us to check out different things. And we ultimately tried a bunch of sites, but now we're on ActiveCampaign because it does a lot of if this then that.
Oh,
and,
yes.
It's something that was important for us. And anyone that has gotten anything from us knows that we send quite a bit of information out. Melody, I'm so thrilled that you were with us today. Tons of information. The one thing that you said has helped you grow the most is being positive and persistent. So many people won't do that. You have 4 kids, 13, 11, and 10. You have decades of experience as a web development, and you focused your website to rank highly with words like WordPress and WordPress development. And in your onboard process, you focus on the pain points that people are going through, the dreams that they want. What have they done in the past, and what are they doing now to achieve their goals? Melody, Thank you so much for being here today. PajamaWeb.com is it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay positive.
You too, Zach.
Thanks, Melody.
Business used to be tough, then we stepped in. Sleepless nights, depleted bank accounts, way too much on credit cards, plus working 24/7. All for what? Bankruptcy? Heck no. Get the exact process you need to change everything. When do I ask for the sale? Post to social media or cold call? Let's face it, business isn't for the faint at heart. Good thing that's not you. No matter what level you are in business, from the first dollar to the next million, your time and money is valuable. Knowing what to do will save you both. This platform includes 3 weeks from starting to making money course, raising money for dummies, scheduler, a calendar to schedule all of your existing content. Oh yeah, plus access to hundreds of expert workshops, business templates like legal, executive summaries, all editable. On-demand access in the car, on your laptop, or next to your partner while watching Shark Tank. Growing your business couldn't be easier. Nate just used 1004 to raise almost $64,000 on Kickstarter. Without 1004, he says, he would have not raised a penny. For more information, head over to 1004.com. That's 1000four.com.